and the world is passing away and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever. Little children, it is the last hour. And as you have heard that the Antichrist is coming, even now many Antichrists have come, by which we know that it is the last hour. They went out from us, but they were not of us, for if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that none of them were of us. But you have an anointing from the Holy One, and you know all things I have not written to you, because you do not know the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth. Who is a liar but he who denies that Jesus is the Christ? He is Antichrist, who denies the Father and the Son. Whoever denies the Son does not have the Father either. He who acknowledges the Son has the Father also. Therefore let that abide in you which you heard from the beginning. If what you heard from the beginning abides in you, you also will abide in the Son and in the Father. And this is the promise that he has promised us, eternal life. These things I have written to you concerning those who try to deceive you. The anointing which you have received from him abides in you, and you do not need that anyone teach you, but as the same anointing teaches you concerning all things, and is true, and is not a lie, and just as it has taught you, you will abide in him. And now, little children, abide in him, that when he appears we may have confidence and not be ashamed before him at his coming. If you know that he is righteous, you know that everyone who practices righteousness is born of him.
Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yeah, I will help thee, yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. For I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yeah, I will help thee, yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Afraid I will, do not fear, I am with you. Do not be afraid, I will give you strength. Do not fear, I will uphold you. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Do not be afraid, I will help you. Do not fear, I am with you. Do not be afraid, I will give you strength. Do not fear, I will uphold you. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will. Do not be afraid, I will help you. Do not fear, I am with you. Do not be afraid, I will give you strength.
working. Even my camera, try to turn it on, so it's not working. I've tried every other thing here. It's not working on the Zoom. On this page, it's not working, and so I want to reload it. I want to try to reload it, but I don't know if I reload it, I'll still be like an admin, and I'll still be the host. So I don't know. I'll need your help with that, ma. Hi, good morning, Eniola. Please, can you hear me?
Good morning, Ma. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been trying to like get in, but my network, I think it was my network, it was acting up. But now I am in. So, good morning. Our facilitator is also in the house as well. Good morning, Mr. Oluwatobi. Thank you for joining us today. We are very glad to have you this morning. Um, so please give me a minute.
Good morning, sir.
All right. So, good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? What was our week like? Good morning, Blessing. Good morning, Eniola. How are you doing today?
Good morning, ma'am.
I'm doing very well, Ma. How are you too, Ma?
I'm very well, thank you. So I want us to go into what we have for today, and our topic for this week. Can someone help me with that?
Music, music, movies, and entertainment, and trends, and how they shape us.
Right. So from the supporting, you were saying something. Eniola, I thought you were
No,
saying something.
I completed it. I said, and how they shape us.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. So, from the supporting resources for this week, is there anything that you want to share with us? Blessing, Eniola, is there anything you'd like to share with us from the videos that you watched for this week?
Okay,
Good
ma.
morning, ma'am.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Who wants to go first?
Good morning, ma'am. Okay, so from the supporting resources, I from the supporting resources, actually, I saw it that I think I'll use an example first where James Bond he bought Mercedes Benz. I think he had um a cooperation with, sorry, he bought BMW. He bought a BMW car. So after some time, people saw that James Bond buy BMW. So people have started buying BMW. So what I see from that place, and for the fact that James Bond is actually and sorry, is a celebrity, like is a very important figure. So from there, people have started, James Bond boss BMW. Okay, I'll buy BMW. So like that, the sales of the BMWs company started increasing very high. And what I actually saw in that was that people can easily get control with what they see online, with the trends online. They feel like they want to feel among, they want to follow the trend. Okay, if this one can do this, if I can do this too, people will follow me. People will like my comment and something like that. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. It's basically like our influencers, the influencers. They are influencers because they can influence things. They have like a lot of followers, thousands, and then some people millions. And you see that people like that, if they should start something, most people that that probably they don't know their values and whatnot, they will go along with those things without really questioning those things, right? So it's a trend, and then they just want to go because I mean it's one popular person that is doing it. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Now over to you, Eniola.
Okay, thank you, ma. So this week what I learned from the two videos, first like what Blessing has shared about James Bond using a car in a movie, and then the sales that the company got from the movie. Just from three sales, they made huge amount of money because they increased the price and they knew that people were going to buy it because the celebrity has bought it. So and from the other video too that talked about like the woman that started mobile, she brought mobile television into different communities that didn't have television, so that they could like inform the men, educate the children also. But she mostly spoke about honor killings, where they were killing women and women didn't have authority in the society. So when she started doing the movie, she said that I think the prime minister, or is it president of the country, um, said something. There's no honor in honor killings. So it was mainly because of our movie, and because the president has said it, so it will be curbed, even though it will not be totally stopped in the country. It was curbed, like it was reduced. So it showed that movies can educate us. We don't just have to just be entertained, laugh, enjoy the movie, but we can also be educated from the movie, and it can be a very huge contribution to the society, like that woman. So I also learned that whatever we watch, whatever we look at on the internet can shape us. Like again what we learned about James Bond. So trends, people are always ready to follow trends. Like when someone just starts something, everybody just like, especially if the person is a very big figure in the society. Like I think it was recently, maybe last week or this week, I'm not sure, that they said that on TikTok, I was seeing it on TikTok, that Tyler was using, I don't know if you know Tyler, she's a musician. She was using iPhone 5 for, I think she said that she likes the pictures that iPhone 5 produces, or like the quality of the pictures. And then everybody started, I was seeing every different people saying that they are buying iPhone 5, they're buying iPhone 5. And some people are even like, they don't see what she's saying, that iPhone 5 is better, but they had already bought it because she was a celebrity. She's a celebrity. And then they started following the trend. Many people were buying the phone. So that's what I learned, that people that are high in the society, people that are public figures, can easily influence other people. So yes, thank you, ma. That's what I learned.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. You mentioned the part that the movies that we watch, right? And it made me remember something. I had like one experience like that. We're given an impromptu test in class, and the lecturer asked for something. And I did not know it. I'm not even sure the man had even taught us. But like according to like if we had to go by whether he had taught us or not, I don't know it. But something was coming to my head. Some things were coming to my head. And then I wrote them down. But I don't know from where. I was asking myself that how did I know these things? I can't remember. It was later that I remember that it was from a movie that I watched that those things came from. And that was when I was like, oh, that means I have to be very, intentional about the movies that I watch. If it can, imprint something in my head like this without my own knowledge, like I had no idea. I know that I know it, but where did I learn this thing from? I don't know. So, right, those things are like very powerful. So, thank you very much for sharing that with us this morning. Good morning, Shell. Welcome to class. So, I'm really
Good
excited to have
morning, ma.
yeah, good morning. I'm really excited to have every one of us here, even though this is not all of us. Um, and then I believe that we are here for a very insightful and engaging session this morning. So at this point, I'm delighted to welcome our facilitator for today, Mr. Oluwa Toby. Okay, we are very grateful to have you here with us, and we look forward to learning from your wealth of knowledge and experience. So without taking much of our time, I will hand over to you to take us through this session. You're very welcome, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we
So,
can hear you.
okay. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? It's so good to be here, and thank you for the opportunity, to be here. We're all welcome this morning, and definitely this class is going to be interactive. I love what every one of us was sharing earlier. It just shows that you made the work easy for me. You've made the work very easy because you have a background knowledge of what we want to discuss. So we are all welcome. You're welcome, Eniola. You're welcome, Blessing. You're welcome, Sean. And to our host, Missimi, good morning. Thank you all. So without further ado, I'm just going to be going straight into what I have for us. I'm going to be going straight into what I have for us, and I'm going to be sharing some slides. But we are talking about today. We are talking about how entertainment, basically shapes us from movies, from music, and these things shapes us. So I'm just going to be sharing my slide, and it's going to be the slide I'm going to be sharing. I did it in such a way that we all are going to be able to relate. So since we are talking about movies and music, so we are going to be doing something in that line. Please, if you can see my screen, let me know. Okay. Please can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, sir. We could see it the other time, but not anymore.
Oh, you can see it now?
Yes, yes, I can't see it now.
Okay, I'm coming. Um, what about now?
Yes, yes, sir, we can see it now.
Okay, what do you have on the screen? The Netflix logo?
Yeah, exactly. Netflix logo.
Okay, so I intentionally made this so it's like we are going to be seeing a movie. I try to represent this in a movie format so that we can be able to relate. So the title of our movie this morning, yeah, can anybody guess? Anybody? Don't worry. I took the topic from a popular movie. I don't know if you saw that movie, The Heist. Did we see that movie? Did any of us saw that movie? Where I don't know if anybody can remember, where they did a robbery, where some set of people, went to rob a bank. Can anybody remember that movie? Any of us? Has any of us seen that movie? Please let's respond though. I might not be able to see our chat, so that I can be able to know that I can hear you. I might not be able to see the chat because I'm sharing my screen. But I'll go ahead. So title of our movie this morning is The Mind Heist. The Mind Heist. So when you hear the word heist, what comes to mind? Anybody? Do you know the meaning of heist? Blessing, Eniola. Have
So
you
I
have any?
think heist means like robbery or theft.
Yes, so correct. Robbery of theft, is it means robbery or theft. And that's what we are going to be talking about. But we're talking about now the mind heist. So what does that mean? So basically, this is what we're going to be discussing. You see that I try to relate it to the mind heist, how entertainment quietly shapes who you become. And we're going to be looking at lyrics, what is love, what the entertainment world has made us believe what love is, even down to success, down to value and the sponge effect. So, number one, what is mind heist? I mentioned that an heist is a carefully planned robbery or theft. We can see that it means the theft of your mind or your way of thinking. It means a subtle stealing of your belief, values, attention, or identity without realizing it. Okay, so that's too much grammar. Let me break it down. So when you hear the word the mind heist, it means whatever we see, whatever we watch has a big effect on who we become. And many of us, we don't know that whatever we consume subconsciously affects us. And that is why, as young ones, as young people, we need to be intentional about whatever you consume. Because your way of thinking, see, the way you see so many things, the way you see things has been influenced either by your environment, either by your experience. The way you think of things has been influenced by your environment, your experience, your education. So all of these things, makes up the way you see things, makes up the way you hear things, and all of that. And that's why we need to be very careful of whatever we consume because this actually shapes us. See the image from this place. You see that the movies that you watch has a perception about what you accept. The music you listen to, many of us will love music, But what type of music are we listening to? Because many of us are not aware that the music we listen to has a very big effect on how we begin to view life in general. Even social media. I know last week we talked about social media and the effect of social media, because I think I was able to join the class sometime last week, and I saw how we talked about how social media, can also affect us, and even trends. Trends, there are so many trends that is going on right now, and the question is, was it Eniola or Blessing that was saying that there are so many trends, and she was giving an example of a trend. And when you were talking, if there's something you should note, because something is popular does not necessarily mean it is right. And that is one thing we should note. That's one thing you should take away from here. That everybody is doing it doesn't necessarily makes it right. That everybody is doing this trend, that everybody is singing this song, that everybody is doing this part does not necessarily mean is what it is right. It is right. And we're going to go on. So our episode 1 is who is raising you? Who are the things that how entertainment has become your loudest teacher? Who is raising you? So when you hear who is raising you, what are the things that makes up you? What are the things that influences you? And number 1 says, I want to ask a question. Who taught you how to think? Anybody? Who taught you how to think? Was it your parent that taught you how to think? I'm not asking who taught you maths. Obviously, you know your maths teacher, you know your English teacher. So let me ask, let me start with Aniela. What do you think success is? What do you think success? When you hear the word success, what does that mean to you?
Okay, success to me means um fulfilling purpose in life and impacting the people around you.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
success.
Perfect, perfect. And I know you made that definition as a result of so many things you've been consuming. But in the world we live in now, when you hear the word what is success, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Anybody? Just a wide guess. If you ask a random
Money.
person, money, God bless you. Money. That is what comes to mind. And why is that? Because they have celebrities, that are teaching them that, oh, if you want to do this, if you want to be rich, you have to do this. So when you hear people talk about success, ask an average teenager that success, what does success mean to you? The go-to answers are money, to be famous, to be popular, to be trending, to be that person that everybody sees online and be like, yes. And I remember we were talking last week when we were talking about social media that so many people have fake life. What you see online is not actually in the reality. It's not actually the reality, and that is what most people don't know. Even the so-called influencers that people are trying to follow, you'll be surprised that when you get closer, you'll be surprised that whatever they are posting online is actually not true. I'm not disputing the fact that there are people that are true, but more than half of things you see online, more than half of what you see online are necessarily not true. Are necessarily not true. I also wrote what who taught you what beauty looks like? You live in a world that you see people, beginning to bleach because they feel if you are fair, you are beautiful. That is the only way you can see yourself as a beautiful person. You hear people that, oh, if for you to be beautiful, you need to do some certain things. We've seen some people even enhancing their body just because that is the only way they can be accepted. That's the mistake people make, that the only way I can be accepted is if I do things a particular way. And it's not necessarily like that. You don't have to. If people have to validate who you are before you are happy, then it means you are on a dangerous path. It means people can easily influence, people can easily, what's the word, determine your mood. People can easily determine your mood. You know, who has also taught you what relationship should look like? Who has taught you what relationship should look like? You know, because of the movies we see, you know, we have this mindset that, oh, and they live happily ever after. It's very sweet, it's very interesting, right? But relationships, in relationship, even friendships, you know, it takes a lot of work. It's not as what? It's not as easy as people online, as in movies, you know, they make it look like. It's not very easy. You see so many people, you see movies now, you see somebody for the very first time, you like the person, and boom, they're in a relationship. It's not like that. Things, they are not done that way. And because of those things that we have watched, we have seen online, we now put pressure on people around us to also do the same thing. You see, even as young people, you will now begin to, even because of what you've seen online, you begin to pressure your parents that my friends are using the latest iPhone and all of that, and that's the way they accepted. You also want to use the latest iPhone. You see so many people that, you know, who taught you what happiness is. We talked about last week when we talked about social media. Have you seen people depressed just because they don't have likes on their picture? I can remember one of us, I don't know who was sharing on Saturday, one of our friends posted a picture online, and you know, I don't know, maybe through the help of hair or something, and people, yeah, I think I remember in I think she was saying that people commented online that they want to be like her. And you're like, be like, if only you know where she's posting this thing from, you will not even pray, because and that is it. Many people, and that is what movies, that is what music has done to us. They have given us a false definition of so many things. And that's why I said, who is raising you? Be careful of who is teaching you what. Who is teaching you what? We'll move to the next one. And I said, so what are the loudest teachers? YouTube, Netflix, movies, Netflix, music, and influencers. And you know the scary part of this? These people that are teaching us this thing don't even know us. They don't know we exist. Have you seen people, even football, have you seen people kill themselves, do bets just because of football? I remember I'm a big lover of football, yes. I'm a big lover of football. And but you see people go to the extreme. You see people kill themselves. You see people place bets. I've seen people place bets on their house, on their family, just because of the love. And you that you are killing yourself here, those players don't even know you exist. Like they don't have any idea. If they don't even know who is Toby, who is Blessing, they don't know you, and you are killing yourself. And that's it. Most of these things we are seeing online, we don't know that they are having effects on us. The movies you watch, you know, and there's something that we don't know. We don't know that all these things are little deposits. And little what? Deposits. It's like when you hold a tap of water into a bucket, just leave it one drop. A drop can become a river, a drop can become an ocean. Just leave it consistently. And that is what most of us don't know. That whatever movies, you know, we even see movies, especially on Netflix. And many of us have seen those movies where they will write romance, sex, plus 18, and all of those things. And yet, that is what you want to watch. And you say, no, now, no, they are not doing anything bad. I just want to learn. But those things are deposits. They are depositing little things into you. And as time goes on, you will be surprised. You'll be surprised that, what is happening? Okay, let me ask you a question. And that will lead me to the next slide. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever sang a song? And I want us to answer. Have you ever sang a song that you did not intentionally learn, but because you listen to it maybe in your street, they play it consistently. Has it ever happened to you that as time goes on, you will find yourself singing that song? Has it happened to anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you'll find yourself singing the song, and you now wonder, Where did I
That's
hear this
true.
song? You'll be like, but I don't know this song. You'll be surprised that even by walking through the street, you know the whole lyrics. And you're like, but I did not learn this song. Have you seen TikTok trends, TikTok beats that it will just be you just be playing and before you know, you are just you're even humming to it, you're shaking your head to it. Until you now catch yourself in between that. How did I get here? How did I get here? That's it. So have you ever find yourself singing a song you don't even like? We don't even like the song. Some is even what you just even need is the beats. And before you know, that's your subconscious work at that's your subconscious at work. Whatever the mind constantly remember, whatever you deposit, you load your mind with, you remember it. And that's why you have to be careful of those things. You have to safeguard what you listen to. You have to safeguard what you listen to because most of the time it's your subconscious at work. You don't see that. You have you ever noticed that there are even times that I think someone was also sharing that just because somebody is using a particular thing, you also want to use it. There was a time that you see people that I don't know, maybe I can remember there was a time that there's a particular show going up for me. When I was a teen, there's this show they call Sopra. And as a teenage boy, if you don't have Sopra, you're not the happening guy. That shoe is a boot, very big like this, and that shows that you're the happening guy by having that shoe. And there are sometimes that there are even songs that we unconsciously, we are not even aware that those songs has become a part of us. I tell people that when you listen to a song, most especially listen to the lyrics. What are they saying in the lyrics? Most of us, especially young people, we are more of beats and sounds, forgetting that the lyrics, the lyrics has a lot of things it does to your mind. And that's why you have to be careful of those things you actually listen to. A question you might want to ask, so what now happens? I can't control whatever people play. That's the truth. On the street, when they're playing those things, you can't control it. But you can control what comes to you. You can control what you absorb. You can guide your heart as to what you are going to be receiving. You can. And that's why we have to be very careful. And this takes us to episode 2. So do you have any question? Hope we are not being bored. Hope we are not bored. I
No,
hope we are I hope we are learning
Yeah.
something. Oh, okay. So episode 2, we are going to the sponge effect. The sponge effect. What does it mean? Sponge. If you are saying sponge, sponge absorbs so many things. It absorbs, like if you keep it, it just absorb it. And when you squeeze it, what happens? Everything that has been there, what begins to come out. And that's what's called the sponge effect. And that means imagine dropping a sponge into water. It doesn't choose what to absorb. It simply absorbs whatever it surrounds itself with. So it means look at the sponge effect. Your mind is like a sponge. When it comes to music, it comes to multimedia, it comes to movies, your subconscious mind, it cannot distinguish between what is entertainment and what is education. It simply learns. It just learns. It takes whatever you feed it with. And that is why you have to be careful. You have to be careful of your environment. You should dictate whatever you want your mind to absorb. I am happy, to see young people that are in this coaching class, because what you are doing to your mind, you'll be surprised. I asked a question that what is success, and I love what I don't know, was it Blessing that said that was talking about the part of the success, or in other that she was saying means impact. That success means impact and living a purposeful life. You'll be shocked that when you ask an average teenager, that is not the answer that will come out of their mouth. The answer that will come out is what we said earlier, the part of success means fame, success means getting money, getting rich, and all of it. And why is it? Why is it so? Because of what they have surrounded themselves with. And that's why, as a young person, be very careful of who you surround yourself with. Let me tell you something. Most people that has fall, that's why you also have to be careful of your friends. If there's something that most young people struggle with is peer pressure. And the only way you can have peer pressure, and peer pressure can be both negative and positive. So, but the reason why many people struggle with peer pressure is because of the friends that they have around them. See, you cannot tell me that, oh, you have a friend that is doing a particular thing. And the sad part of it is, it is very easy for you to be influenced negatively than to influence somebody positively. We all tend to quickly, be influenced negatively than positively. And that's why you have to be careful of people you have around you. People you have around you. Has it ever happened to you? Let me ask this, and I want an answer from you. Has it ever happened to you? I remember back then when I was in school that you don't feel like reading, you don't want to read, and you see people reading around you. What message does that pass to you automatically, even though you don't want to read? And you look to your right, you see your friend reading. You look to your right, you see your friend reading. What does that do? What does that mindset? What does it do to you automatically? Anybody? Anyway, what does that does to you? Immediately you see people reading around you, your friends reading,
If I wasn't reading at that time, I feel like I'm an unserious girl, so I'll just go and carry my book and then
and
want
reading.
to read.
Yes, that is how it works. Automatically, you guys. So now imagine the person is doing something negative. What will happen? You will feel left out. There's something they call FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. So because everybody is doing it, you now feel, hey, if you don't do it, it means you're not part of them. See, there's nothing like FOMO. There's nothing like, yeah, you're not missing out on anything. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not missing out on anything. So, and that's why you are that, and that's why I said that you should be careful of the people you have around you. Be careful of the people you have around you, because at the end of the day, the people you have around you, they can easily influence you. Have you seen, to show you how your environment, to show you how you have to be careful of people around you and people you surround yourself with. Have you watched most of the movies we see is as a result of recommendation from friends? They ask, have you seen this movie? Even though you don't know anything about it. But because your friend said, have you seen this movie? You go and watch it. Has it ever happened to you that even things you buy is as a result of recommendation of people around you? People said, "Oh, I bought this thing." Has it ever happened to you that? And that's why I was mentioning that be careful of people. Has it ever happened to you that maybe a supermarket? Let me give an example of that. A supermarket. Your friend went to the supermarket, and maybe the person attending to her did not attend to her very well. Did not attend to her very well, and she tells you that that supermarket. What happens? What does that do to your mind? Automatically, it's not the person that attended to her did not attend to you, but it changed your mindset of how you view that person. I remember somebody was sharing a story at work when I was at work yesterday. I would keep the name. He said that there's a particular person from a particular organization. I noticed that the person leaves his office and comes to drink, comes to smoke at a particular time, and all of it. And one day, in the process of doing that, he stumbled. So anytime that person wants to go and do that thing, he removes his ID card, puts it somewhere, and goes to maybe smoke and drink during office hour. And one day, what happens? He saw the ID card of the organization that person is working at. It's only one person that did that thing, but do you know what that thing did to him? Automatically, it means everybody in the organization does the same thing. And is that true? No. So that's why you have to be careful of what you do, because your action, see, and let me tell you something. Let me also tell you something. See, blessing, everybody on this call, blessing and Ella and every other person that I cannot see. See, you are also an influencer. You might be surprised. Have you see there are things that you've done, especially if you have siblings and maybe you have younger siblings. There are things that you do that because your siblings have seen you do, they would also do it. So when you hear the word influence means because of my action now determines how somebody else reacts. It means you're influencing the person. If whatever you do can make somebody react, that means can make somebody change his or her mind or can alter how the person thinks, automatically you are influencing the person. You are influencing the person. You know, there was a time that I don't know if you saw it online. They were talking about Uludo uprising online. That is the way people are beginning to say, oh, you don't need, they are raising generation of people that are not smart and are saying that school is a scam. And just because one person, you know, I don't want to mention him, but many of us would know the person I'm talking about. Just because one person did not go to school and is an influencer and is rich, automatically everybody feels you don't need to go to school. Everybody feels me too. I don't have to go to school for me to be famous. That is influence. And that's why you have to be careful of whatever you absorb. Okay, so let's do a quick exercise. What is one phrase you started saying because everybody online was saying it? Any example? Anybody? What is one popular phrase that people online people were saying and now you two started saying it?
Azaona.
As God bless you. Azaona. Because everybody online was saying it, automatically, what do? Everybody starts saying Azaona. Even unconsciously. Any other phrase, any other thing. I like that part. Even myself, I don't dey talk am. I don't dey say Azaona or Asasao. Asasao. Any other phrase or any aside phrase, any other trendy things that we people are doing online and that it has become something that everybody is doing. Any other thing? And we're young people now, we see these things. We're on TikTok. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We're on TikTok. What are those phrases? It might not necessarily be a phrase. It can be a trend. It can be a trend that people are doing and automatically. Did we see that video of a primary school student defending Gary versus Rice? Did you see that video? I think it was trending the last 2 weeks, where she was telling how she was saying Gary is better than Rice. Did anybody see that video?
Yes, I saw it, sir.
You saw that. So what was okay? Let me just ask. What is something that you picked up from that video? Anything, any random thing you picked up from that video that she said? Any random thing. It can be anything. Don't worry. I'm not. We don't judge here. What I'm trying to go somewhere. What was a statement that she made there that makes you feel, oh, that maybe from that video you saw and you're like, okay. There was a time that she was giving an example of what um what Gary what Gary does. How she was saying that there was also she said that she was giving an example of how Gary is a food for both the poor and the rich and everything. So what I'm just trying to say is everything that we learned online, before you know, as time goes on, we will be surprised to see that we begin to see those phrases. Somebody mentioned a phrase that Azam now, and people are beginning to see it. Automatically, it forms part of of your vocabulary. And did anybody teach you that phrase? No. What happened is you simply heard it often. And that's why I mentioned earlier that be careful of whatever you consume, because whatever you hear often becomes part of you. If you keep hearing this thing, it becomes part of you. And that is what makes up most of the time our identity. So if somebody keeps telling you you are beautiful, somebody keeps telling you you are handsome, some keeps telling you that you can do this thing, as time goes on, it becomes a part of you. And that's why you have to be careful of whatever you listen and you hear, both positive and both negative. Be very careful. Be very careful of those things you put in, because as time goes on, it shapes you. So if somebody keeps telling you that this is it, or it keeps telling you that you are not smart, you are not this, you are not that, as time goes on, you begin to see yourself in that reality. But if somebody says you are smart, even though you go somewhere and it gives you a form of confidence, and you're like, yes, I can do this thing. I can do this thing. So we move on to the next one. The eating curriculum. Every movie is teaching a class. They just don't tell you the lesson. Hmm. Every movie you watch is teaching you something, and you don't know what is teaching you. Okay. And it starts with decode the hidden message. Oh, I'm supposed to cover this reality part, but it's already there. Movie teaches us that love is just butterfly. Have we seen movies? We've read from books, we've seen movies that what you just need to do is love. Like love is all about having goose goosebumps. But in reality, love is requires sacrifice, patience, even relationships, not even love, even friendships. Forget about even relationship, maybe pertains to romantic relationship and the likes. Even friendship, it takes a lot of sacrifice, patience, and commitment. You've seen in movies where they tell you that revenge brings peace. You've seen all these action movies where they tells you that, oh, when do me, I do you. Like you have to also retaliate. But that's not true. Revenge creates more pain. Yeah, in movies, we have been taught that money equals success. Money equals success. I think I was here in a lot of blessing that said, and yeah, I wrote success is purpose plus impact. Very true. But when you watch movies, what will movie tell you? That when for you to be successful, it means you have money. That's automatically what they preach. Even sex is casual. You see so many people now, even teenagers, young people, they need to tell you that what is there. Meanwhile, it has deep consequences. Whatever you sow, you would reap. But the what many of us don't understand is that part they won't necessarily show you the part of when the consequences start catching up with them. They won't show you. Everybody puts their best feet forward online. Everybody. Even yourself, you put your best picture online. Would you gonna put a picture that you are what is the word that you don't want people to see, that maybe you're in your lowest state? You won't. Even people tell you now in movies that you need somebody to be complete. That's what they tell you in movies now. That you need somebody, you need somebody to complete you. Meanwhile, you are whole in Christ. All what you just need is Christ. When you have Christ, and I was speaking to um to some teenagers back then in church, and I was telling them, I think we were talking about identity, and I was making them realize that your identity, when you know God, you know yourself. Because the question is, do you see yourself as people see you or as God sees you? That's why in the scripture, you have to go to the scripture and ask yourself, what is God saying about me? He's saying I'm a choosing generation. He said I have more understanding, more than my teachers. He said I am the son of God, I'm the child of God. Those are the realities you should pronounce. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And that's why I said be careful of whatever you listen to. Be careful of whatever you take in. Be very careful. what movies are teaching us. And that is why, as young people, we need to be very careful of the movies we watch. See, what most of us don't know is these things, we don't know the effect of or the consequences of these things until later in the future. And they shape whatever. And that's why you have to be careful of the movies you see. Be careful of like you have to be intentional. You have to like you have to be the one to say this and this is what I want to watch. When people begin to show you this thing, you said, "Oh, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. Don't worry." Be careful of what you watch because they make up who you are at the end of the day. And that's why I tell people success is predictable. You can predict if somebody will be successful. Why? By what they do. Because life is about principles, law and principles. So if you do this, there's a tendency that this will be the reward of what you are going to do. And that's why you have to be careful. And that's why I am happy that I'm also grateful to the organizer of this event because what they are doing is they are shaping the next generation. And look, when it comes to influence, you only need what we don't need is one person and his person around. So imagine we have hundred of people in here today and they are listening to this information. I think we've been on this journey for more than 3 months. By the end of this journey, I can assure you that your mindset change. You become the way you view life, the way you view things automatically change. And you just see that you are thinking ahead more than an average young person because of these things that you are absorbing, these things. So many of us here, many of us on this call, we are on a path. What if you ask me that what would the next 2, 3 years look like for you? I will easily tell you that you will succeed. If you are consistent with what you are doing now, I can assure you that success is yours. Success is yours. The sky is just your starting point. So please and please, let's be very careful of whatever would consume, whatever things will consume. It goes a long way. Be very careful. Be very careful of all those things you consume, all those things you listen to. You hear some lyrics, you hear some music, and when you hear the lyrics, you see that they are just vulgar words scattered around the music. Vulgar words. Vulgar words. They're not talking about women, they're talking about money, they're talking about how you have to expose your body and all of this. To what end? And it's so bad that even all of these musicians, all of these movies, they know what you want to listen to, they know what you want to hear, and they give it to you. And that's why, as young people, and that's why I tell people, as Christians, as believers, you know, there are different mountains. We have the entertainment mountains, the government mountain, the multimedia, the family, the education, the politics and governance. We as believers, the only way we can change this thing, because I mentioned earlier that we cannot control whatever we listen to. Like when you're outside, you can't, but you can control what comes into your mind. So then that's why as believers we need to begin to go into these spaces, especially the entertainment and the media space. Begin to create movies, Christian movies. Thank God for the likes of Mount Zion, the likes of these international Warner Brothers, the likes of these people that are making godly movies. So imagine we don't have Mount Zions and the like. What movies are we going to be watching? We'll be watching and the likes of there are YouTube channels now that are speaking about I think there was one that somebody recommended. I think the Taste of Kinship on YouTube is a very good movie for teenagers. It talks about the struggles they go through. Very good movie. So if we don't begin to watch all of those series, all of those things, it has a big effect on what it does in our hearts. So let's be very careful. The Lord would help us. So we're gradually moving to the end of this. So our next episode on this movie. I hope you're enjoying this movie. Hope I'm not boring us. Hope we're enjoying this.
Yes, I'm enjoying it, sir.
Okay, perfect. I hope. Okay. So the algorithm isn't your friend. So let me tell you something. What we don't know is I thought I can easily through your FYP. That's for your page on your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook. I can easily know whatever you consume. So how the algorithm works is very simple. I think it's something um that was discussed on social media last week when we were talking about social media. One thing that happens, which is very easy, is whatever you consume, whatever you consume daily, that's what the algorithm begins to bring. And the algorithm can listen to your conversation. Has it ever happened to you? They are discussing about cake, and all of a sudden, when you go online, the next ad you see is cake, and you're wondering, how did they know? How did they know I was talking? There are times that you're not talking about shoes, or you're talking about something, and the next thing, when you go online, is that particular thing you just said. That's to show you that you are being monitored, everything, your space. And that's why I said you can what's the word? You can dictate whatever you want. So when you check your algorithm, there are things that when they suggest to you, they thank God they made it. You will write you are not interested. Just click on you are not interested, and they won't bring it. They won't bring it again. Just put I'm not interested. I'm not interested. So the algorithm, they want you to see those things. They want you to see those things. Um, okay. So is saying that the algorithm isn't your friend. Your phone, your music, what makes you stop scrolling, what makes you jealous. The algorithm does not ask you, is this good for you? It does ask, will this keep you here? Anything that will keep you here is what they will give you. Has it ever happened to you? You just want to check your phone, just one message. Just want to check it. Sometimes you might be reading, or you're even praying. Just say, let me quickly respond to this message. From quickly respond from 5 minutes, it turned to 1 hour. Before you know, you're like, yeah, time has gone. That's because, and the way the algorithm works is it keeps feeding you what you want to see. You know, you skip one, you scroll one, you see something, you just see, you need to see similar content. And the algorithm, how it works is very simple. If it sees that on a particular content, maybe you watched it to the end, it begins to bring similar content to you. But if maybe you see something that is not profitable, something that is something that will pollute your mind, and then you see it, you scroll past it. They won't bring because automatically what it tells the algorithm is I'm not interested, and they won't bring such. The whole essence of the algorithm, the whole essence of this entertainment is just to keep you glued and not leave, because that's how they make their money. So they give you what you want to see. So that's why you have to be careful. The algorithm does not care if it's good or not good for you. You are the one that would determine. You are the one that would say that, oh, this thing, I don't want it. This thing, I want it. This thing, I don't want it. And it reminds me of I did a survey. I did a survey recently. I was asking young people that, oh, what are the especially teenagers, those in their young 20s and all of that. I was asking them now, what are the struggles they go through? What are the things they go through? What are the things that they want to change? Okay, I think maybe I should ask here. But there was one that was prevalent. There was one that was prevalent, and that would be my list. But before I go there, let me ask: what is one struggle that as young person will go through? Anybody? What is the one struggle that will go through? Let me check. Blessing. Tell me, what's one struggle you go through as a young person? Or Eniola, if you're there. Just tell me one struggle. One struggle. as a young person you face, something that you know that you go through is a struggle for you. Most people, especially in your age group, they go through that thing. Any do you want to share? I want to be sure we're here. Blessing and Ella. Hey Papa, my speak to me, speak.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is one struggle that you think people as teen, young people face? Tell me.
Um, Competition between friends, like peer pressure. They want to be like a friend, like competition. Yes, sir.
Competition.
And then
Yeah.
social media addiction.
Social media addiction. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Blessing. What about you? Oh, I don't know if Blessing is still with us. But what you said, Eniola, more than 90% of people I did that survey with, I think the proper word for that, where you say they want to be like that, friend, is comparison. Comparison. Somebody once said that one of the survey, the person in our word said, I wish Instagram never existed. Not because Instagram is evil, but the comparison is exhausting. And I know most of all, like what you said, I will to raise your hand if you have ever compared yourself to someone online. Because what did she say? She said the comparison there, that there are some times that you just be doing things and you are okay. And you just go online. See, let me tell you guys, it's not something that affects just young people. Almost everybody. Just go online and automatically you see somebody your age already is using a particular phone, using a particular device, and all of it. And what you do, you just start thinking about your life. That God, when am I going to be like this person? What am I doing? What am I not doing right? Comparison. That is, I think we mentioned about it last week when we talked about social media and its effect on us. Comparison. That's what it does to us. And the reason why people compare themselves is because they don't know who they are. If you know who you are, if you know where you are going, you won't compare yourself. Yes, if you know who you are, if you know where you are going, you won't compare yourself. So many people are comparing themselves just because what they don't know who they are. You see, comparison, you see, it's a struggle. And I don't, the advent of social media has made things worse. I tell people sometimes when you're oblivious means when you are not aware, you don't know some things. When you're oblivious, it helps you because when you don't know what is happening, there's nothing to compare with. But because you have options, you have options of things you can compare yourself with. That is why there's comparison. And that's why I was telling us earlier that be careful of what you see. Because when you are careful of those things you see, you won't compare yourself. And if you just know your strength and weakness, if you know that anytime you go online, you live more depressed than happy, and that's the truth. If it happens to you, anytime you go online, you are more depressed. Because immediately you go to TikTok like this, you go to Instagram. Oh Lord of God. Oh Lord of God. Let me tell you something shocking. Do you know I do have a TikTok account? Not because I don't want, I just feel because I don't feel my day. It's not necessary. If for any like I don't have a TikTok account. I've not opened one. So when TikTok has been my mind, I'm not even pressured. If anything would take me to TikTok, it will be maybe business or work. I just have to. But personally, for me personally, I don't need it. So there are some things that because when you know that when you get there, you'll be pressured. You need to go there, just zone out. I was telling somebody, that me, I feel if you ask me, I feel, I feel that what is it called? I feel someone should be around 16, maybe 16 upward before you begin to have access to a phone. My thinking, my opinion. Begin before because you begin to have access to phones. You see young people as low as 10, 9. You are online and you begin to see things you can't control. You can't control those things online. You can't control them. You can't control most of these things you see online. The best you can do is you are the one that will now control the kind of content that online should feed you with. But when there's no phone, when you don't have anybody to compare yourself with, you do better. Because more often than not, those things online makes you begin to compare negatively than positively. Yeah, there are good things online, like when you see things that you are being inspired to be like, oh, I can do better. But more often than not, it's negative. It makes us is the negative part that our mind gets to see. It's the negative part our mind gets to see. So it leads me to our next episode where I talked about guard your heart. The book of Proverbs 4:3 says, guard your heart because out of it comes the issues of life. So, in as much we cannot control whatever it's out is in the space out there, but one thing we need to do is guard our hearts. What we can do is guard your hearts. Guard your hearts. That's the most important security system you own. That is the only thing that is within your control. Guard your hearts. You are the one, this is your space, this is your being. So you are the one that should control whatever comes to your space, whatever comes to your being. And how do you guard your heart? It leads me to the next one where I mentioned before you consume anything, ask yourself these three questions. Ask yourself these three questions. Who created this? What is their motive? Is it money, influence, or popularity? So when you ask yourself, who created this thing? So ask yourself, that are the questions you ask before you consume anything, be it music, be it movie, be it entertainment. Ask yourself these three questions. Who created this? And what is their motive? What was, for anybody that's the content creation. Thank God, that's why I say who created this. Creating content, it means they are doing something, they're a creator. But ask yourself, what is their motive? What are they trying to achieve by creating those things? What is their motive? Is it money? Is it influence? Is it popularity? The second question you ask yourself is, what is this teaching me? That's what you ask yourself. What is this teaching you? Because at the end of the day, whatever you are watching, you ask yourself that, what is it teaching me as a person? Not what did I, because whatever you are watching has has a long time, like we've been saying, that it has a big effect on you. A big effect. So ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And if we are being honest, many of us we know when to stop watching something. But we are the one that we just feel, or when to stop listening to a particular thing. But we are just being very stubborn, another man, that nothing can happen. So ask yourself, what is this teaching me? So when you watch a movie, look, someone like me, the kind of movies I watch, you can the kind of movies I personally watch are movies that talks about how maybe somebody comes from failure to success, or is talking about. So you will see most of the movies I watch. I don't know if anybody has seen Coach Carter, all of these movies that talks about how some people have been how some people have been the pursuit of happiness. Yeah, it's a very old movie, but it's something that we are going to learn. So ask yourself before you watch this movie. So before you watch any movie, what you can even do is check the review. If the review is already telling you that this thing, just move. Move. Just say this is not this one is not for me. You move. It's not for me. At the end of the day, another question you also ask yourself is, who will I become? If I keep consuming this for 5 years, who will I be? And that's it. If you keep consuming this thing, who will I be? If you keep consuming the likes of all this content creator, all this content that speaks against school, that speak against personal values, what will happen in the nearest future? You begin to speak like them. You begin to think like them. So that's why I said you can actually determine who you are by what you listen to, by what you observe. So it's like, so what I would tell us is ask yourself, oh, in the next 5 years, who do I want to become? You know, the easiest way to become someone like that is just go and consume their content. If you want to be a good speaker, what you need to do? Begin to watch YouTube videos on how to speak, and before you know, you become a good speaker. If you want to, and if it's the other way around, keep consuming it. So these are the filters you ask yourself before you consume anything. Ask yourself these questions: who created this? What is this teaching me? And who will I become? And whenever there's a particular Bible verse, in the scripture that makes us that even gives us an idea of things that we should consume. It tells us things that we should consume. In the book of Philippians 4:8, it says, whatever is true, whatever thing is true. So it's like a filter, it's like a litmus test that you pass all of this content through these things. And when you pass it through these things, it makes you realize, oh, is that what I want to do? Whatever is true. This is Bible filter. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, think on these things. Philippians 4:8. We can go and read that and we'll see. So these are the things you guide your heart with. Just anything, any content, be it music, be it movie. And let me tell you something. When you decide to do all of these things, let me tell you something. What is going to happen? People will begin to tell you that your own is too much. And the reason why people begin to tell you own is too much, when you don't see a particular line in music and you're like, no, 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 or they show you a movie, you ask, people begin to feel your own is too much. But you know what you are guiding your heart against. You know what you are trying to achieve. You know who you want to become. So you think about this thing. God isn't just concerned with what you do. He's concerned with what fills your mind. Because your thoughts eventually becomes your action. Somebody that steals in their mind. They steals in their mind before they carry out the acts. See, and that's how it works. Whatever you want to do, you've done it in your mind before you've done it in your mind before you carry out those actions. Take it or leave it. So when you hear somebody steal and say it's the handwork of the devil, it's not the devil. Because even before you have done it, you've done it in your mind. And that's why we are preaching, we are advocating that be careful of whatever you listen to. Because before you do all of those things, you've done it in your mind. You've done it in your mind. And that's it, for me as a person, that's how it works for me. Before I do anything, I'm mentally, even this section, before it happens, I'm mentally prepared. I've done everything on my mind before I'm doing it now. So that's why you have to be careful of these things. You have to be careful of these things. We're rounding up now. And our final season, like I said, we are rounding up now. Your future is being shaped by one school at a time. Your future is being shaped by one school at a time. Whatever you do, your future. So ask yourself, will your future self be happy with your actions, with what you've done before now? In the next 5 years, can you look back and ask yourself, oh, how I wish I've not listened to this? How I wish I've not done all of this? Your future self would ask you. So that's why, as young people, we have to be very careful. Your future is being shaped by one school at a time. So what I want us to do this task. This is what we're going to do for the next 7 days. And by next week, we are going to when we'll be meeting for another section, probably not me, but the facilitator, you can get to submit what you've learned. If you're going to see any movie, ask yourself, what lesson did this just teach me? That's the question you should ask yourself. What lesson did this just teach me? Sorry. Sorry, I need to attend to this. Okay, so you ask yourself, what lesson did this just teach me? After every song you listen to, ask yourself, what belief am I repeating? Because for every song that you listen to, there's a message they are trying to pass. There's a message they are trying to pass. So ask yourself, what belief am I repeating? After every trend, there will always be a trend. Just go online, you always see a trend. Am I choosing this, or I have seen it too many times? Ask yourself, is it because I've seen it too many times, that's why I want to do it, or because it's the right thing to do? So for every movie, ask yourself, what am I learning? Ask yourself, from every song, what is this teaching me? From every trend, do I want to do this because everybody is doing it, or because it's the right thing? I mentioned something earlier, that people are doing it does not necessarily mean it's what is right. Everything is lawful, but not everything is expedient. And we are believers. I believe that most of us here, we are all believers. So we cannot do what every other person is doing. We cannot, that every other person is doing it doesn't necessarily make it right or godly. So you are different. And that's why I said you also have to, enmax yourself, surround yourself with those of like minds. With those of like minds. So as we take this to an end, so another thing I want us to do this week, any negative account you are following, that you know that anytime you watch it, you feel depressed. Anytime you watch it, you are not happy. Anytime you watch it, it takes you far away from God. Anytime you watch that content, it makes do you know there's some content that reduce your thinking faculty? Do you know that there are some contents that reduce your I'm sorry. There are some contents that reduce your thinking faculty. That when you watch this content, it has happened to me. I'll be like, what did I just watch? What is this that I watch? What is this thing? It even makes you less intelligent. It makes you less intelligent. So that's why I said mute any of these things. Another one, replace one LD playlist. There's a playlist that we have. No, all of us, only we are pretending. There are playlists that you know that when you listen to this thing, it makes you begin to think, oh God, when? Watch one movie critically and decode the lesson. So one movie I would advise us to watch, Coach Carter. Let's see that movie. It's going to help us. It was talking Coach Carter. I think there are also a list of movies. Maybe as time goes on that I can also share with the facilitator that as young people we can watch. Those are movies that when you watch, it makes you think. It makes you feel. There's one back then, a very old movie. I don't know. I'm not old, so I'm still young, but I like old movies because they share lessons, reasonable lessons than even most of these movies that we watch now. There's one Aquila and the Bee. Then there's no how. Then growing up, if you have not seen Aquila and the Bee, they will ask you. Even your parents will force you to go and see the movie. It's from there everybody knows what spelling bee is. It's from there everybody begins to. That's it. Pause 10 seconds before you join any trend, and that's it. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Like I said, those filter, pass it through those filter. Are this thing only? Is it admirable? Are they good? If they are not, and also one thing that can help us, that can also shape our mindset and the way we think is spend. I will give us time, as little as 15 minutes with God's word. God's word. I mean, how much time do we spend on God's words that we spend on online? If you check your phone, there are like the phone I use every week, it gives me an average time of the screen time I've used. So immediately I see that, I'm like, hey, it tells you that this is what you've spent, and it even tells you the apps that you spent the highest of your time on, the highest of your attention on. So scriptures. See, let me tell you one life hack that people don't know, or maybe people know but they don't practice. See, if you want to be wise, and when you speak, you want people to listen to you, read the Bible. The Bible is a place where wisdom, especially I will if there's something I would advise for every young person here. Oh, thank God, this August. August starts today. Take the book of Proverbs, read one chapter per day. By the end of you reading the book of Proverbs, you'll be wiser. The way you think will be different from how everybody thinks. I can assure you. Just take one chapter of the Bible, one chapter of Proverbs, read it every day. Read it every day. Just one chapter. One chapter will not take you, will never take up to these 15 minutes that I wrote here. One chapter per day. Just read it, and you'll be surprised that the way you begin to think, people just begin to be like, this person is not sense. So there's some people don't have sense out there. Sorry to say. But when you speak and people be like, wow, this person has sense. Like the way this person is thinking really makes sense. So that's it. So as I come to an end, our final word is whatever you consistently consume will eventually become part of you. So consume wisely. Your future is being shaped one scroll, one song, one movie, and one decision at a time. Listen to what I wrote here. Whatever you consistently, mark the word there, consistently consume would eventually become part of you. Whatever you consistently consume will eventually become part of you. So be careful of what you consume because they make you up. At the end of the day, those are those things that makes you up. So that brings me to the end of this movie that we all watched, where I hope I've been able to convince and not to confuse you that whatever you watch, whatever you listen to, is going to form a big part of you. Thank you very much. Do you have any question? Any question? And over to you, my co-host. If there's no, that's Miss Simi. If you have any question, anybody that has any question, anything you want to address, or perhaps something you've learned. Let's just do that. Something you've learned, or any key thing you've learned. Just please either drop in the chat box or or talk or say something like that. Anybody. I want to be sure so that I don't look like I was not talking to myself all this while. Blessing and Yala on your day, to me day, anybody that has anything that perhaps you can also drop it in the chat box, whatever thing you learned today. Oh, you haven't seen the movie? Please see the movie, the Coach Carter movie, the Aquila and the Bee. You can see all this movie. Yeah, Eniola, I think you're trying to say something.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for the class. It was very interesting and insightful. So, what I picked from the class, first of all, movies and music and entertainment are little deposit into us.
Yeah,
They shape who we become if we continue. So we have to watch whatever comes into our mind. So if we continue consuming, you said we should ask ourselves one question, and it really stuck with me. If you continue consuming if I continue consuming what I'm currently consuming for the next 5 years, would it make me who I
episode.
who
Yeah,
I want to be in the
yeah,
future? Would it make me the person that I want to see myself in the next 5 years? And then I also learned that I'm an influencer,
yeah.
that if whatever I do makes it shapes or it makes someone else's mindset change, I'm also an influencer. And
True,
one last thing I learned is that if I want to be wise and if I want people to listen to me and stop who is this girl that is talking, I should study the word of God
true.
and I'll become wise. So, sir, I have a question.
Okay. That's good. What's
So,
the question?
if let's assume that somebody has been consuming content that is not like is not they are not supposed to consume. Like they have been consuming content that doesn't make sense, probably things that they do not learn from, but they eventually decide to change. They eventually decide to change whatever they watch. They eventually decide to change the content they watch, the people they listen to. So those past contents that they've been watching, will this still shape their future?
Hmm. That's a very
That's my
valid
question.
question. That's a very valid question. So there's something I want us to know, that I mentioned something and you mentioned that you check yourself in the next 5 years. What do you want to, who do you want to become? Who do you want to become? So one thing you need to do is, you don't when it comes to habits, you replace habits with new habits. Habits don't all good, they are part of you. Habits is something that is part of you. So what you need to do is begin to change. You replace it. It's like you are replacing. So you begin to change those things. Oh, I mentioned something about online, the content creators that you follow. Unfollow those people that you know that, number one, when you begin to watch their content, unfollow them. If possible, block them, mute them. You don't want to see them. Now intentionally, and that's how the algorithm works. When the algorithm begins to see that you intentionally begin to watch other good content, other good content, you now see that they begin to bring, you know, such content. So now to your question that, oh, what now happens? Those old things that you have absorbed, would they also shape you? It's very simple. When you begin to replace those old things with new things, what happens is, at the end of the day, there's a repurging. In the scripture, it mentioned that we should renew our mind daily. So what you are trying to do by replacing old habits with new habits is, you are transforming your mind. You are replacing your mind. So what will happen is, you will not begin to think the way you used to think. So what will now happen is, your way of thinking, your way of life begins to change. And when your way of life begins to change, it ultimately now change who you become. So before now, this is the path you are trending. This is the path you are going because of the content you consume. So when you now begin to replace it with better content, good content, what happens is, it automatically now begins to remold you, it begins to change you to become a better person. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. That was spot on. Okay, do I have any other person before I hand over to Miss Simi? Any other question, any other contribution? Thank you so much for having me. Nobody's talking. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me. I'll close the curtain here. And if anybody, I don't know if you also get to share the slide. I can always share with the facilitator so that the slide can be shared with us. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am. Miss Simi. Miss Simi, can you hear me?
Oh, oh
Yeah,
my
so we are
goodness.
done. Thank you so much for having me, ma'am.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you very much, sir. My network is a bit unstable, so I've been like in and
Oh,
out. Like I've been like here and there. And but thank you very much, sir. I mean, a very big thank you to you for taking the time to share your knowledge with us and your insight. And we truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today. And to everybody that joined us today, thank you for showing up and for being part of the session. So we hope to see you again in our next class. So I hope you also remember that for July and then for August, the class is open to all. So always remember to like share the links to your friends on your status so that people can also join us and then learn as well. Once again, on behalf of the coach and lead coach OAD, thank you, Mr. Oluwatobioke, for taking us on this session today.
thank
I
you so
think
much.
you said something. Oh, okay. I think you said something about a submission. My network, I was out then, so I was just coming in when I heard something about a submission. So I don't know. Is there an assignment where I
No,
didn't
no.
get that, sir?
I think what the I shared a slide. I shared. I think in my slide I was just giving a to-do list, and I said is a slide I can also share.
Okay.
So they should just
Okay,
check the
okay, okay.
slides, and whatever content they are trying to check or look out for, they should pass it through those filters. So it's more or less like an exercise. And I think somebody also shared something on the chat on your day, mentioned I want to make a contribution. Sorry, whatever we consume will become a part of us. Cardi B was live and she was singing to a song 2 or 3 years. Then 2 or 3 year old came where she was, then she stopped singing. People asked her why she stopped singing. She does not want her to listen to it, meaning that she knows the kind of songs she creates. So it's better to wise up than to be wise. That's it. And even that, look, I was so sorry. I'm taking us back. You know, there are some people, most of these influencers. I watched somewhere that all these people that create these things, they don't allow their children to even watch it. Like they don't allow their children. And meanwhile, you are there, you are opening your mouth, you are opening your teeth, you are consuming it. Even they are consuming it, they know what they are doing. They are not even allowing those people close to them to do that. So please let's be very careful. So thank you so much. Thank you for that contribution, Yande. That was spot on. Yeah, missing me.
All
I think
right.
it,
Thank
thank
you very much, sir. And then we have come to the end of the class today. And for the participants, I want us to go into our week with everything that we have learned here today, with the consciousness. Every movie, every music, everything that we watch, we hear is, going into our mind. It has a place that it is going, and then someday, somewhere, somehow, it's going to influence one thing, one decision, one thing that we want to do. So, with that, we have come to the end of the class today. I hope that we do enjoy the rest of our weekend and we have a great week ahead. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. Bye, everybody. Bye, blessing.